talk about Caitlin Clark because it seems like, wow, the NBA, the National Basketball Association, and their commissioner, for whatever reason, they seem to appreciate and understand the Caitlin Clark phenomenon better than the WNBA.
The WNBA just dropped a bombshell statement that has Commissioner Cathy Engelbert sweating bullets. Adam Silver is watching from the sidelines, and word on the street is he's not happy with how she's handling the chaos surrounding Caitlin Clark. The league's investigating phantom racism claims while ignoring actual threats against players. This mess could cost Engelbert her job, and honestly, she might deserve it.
His thoughts, what can you ask Adam Silver what his thoughts are on the WNBA commissioner downplaying and not celebrating Clark's impact to the league?
What's your take? Is the WNBA shooting itself in the foot by alienating its newest and biggest fan base? Comment if you think WNBA is making a huge mistake. Let's break down this absolute circus that unfolded at the Indiana Fever game. Someone on social media, and I'll get to this character in a minute, decided to claim that Fever fans were making monkey noises when Angel Reese was shooting free throws. Yeah, you heard that right, monkey noises in 2025 at a basketball game with thousands of smartphones recording everything.
All right, so can't believe I'm making this video. I was at Caitlin Clark's opener, triple-double, won a shit ton of money. All great day. Today, I see online, starting last night, just salty trolls, and I don't even know, actually, that they're Chicago Sky fans. I think they're just trolls. They're just people who hate Caitlin Clark. They're trolls, and they're like, of course, the Indiana Fever are making, like, monkey sounds and other racist sounds at Angel Reese.
Here's the kicker. It was all fake, complete fabrication. The supposed monkey noises were actually audio from Flight Thor. Toy Reacts, a popular YouTuber whose laugh apparently sounds vaguely simian if you're desperately trying to manufacture outrage. But did the WNBA wait for facts? Did they investigate before jumping to conclusions? Of course not. Instead, they released this pearl-clutching statement. The WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms. They have no place in our league or our society. We are aware of the allegations and are looking into the matter, looking into what matter. A proven hoax. This is where Cathy Engelbert's leadership, or lack thereof, becomes crystal clear. She's letting Twitter mobs dictate league investigations. She's treating baseless accusations with the same weight as verified incidents, and Adam Silver sources say he's watching this train wreck unfold and wondering if it's time for new leadership.
I was at the game. If there was somebody being racist or saying shit, obviously boot him, never let him back. I would be stunned beyond belief if that was the case. This crowd, I've sat on the wood for a million games, been in a million environments. The crowd at the Fever game, little girls, families, ladies, nice crowd. Was it loud? Were we mad when Angel Reese attacked Caitlin Clark for no reason? Yeah. Did we boo her? Yeah. Is it sports? Yeah. But for the WNBA to issue a statement based on trolls, like my life is the internet, I know trolls. I've seen people lie about me, say shit about me. No.
Think about the optics here. The WNBA is investigating fake racism claims against Indiana Fever fans, the same fans who've transformed this league from a financial black hole into something approaching relevance. These are the people buying tickets, jerseys, and league pass subscriptions. They're literally keeping the lights on. And Engelbert's response is to treat them like suspects in a hate crime investigation. The person who started this whole mess, their account is now locked. Convenient, right? No proof they were even at the game, no video evidence despite being in an arena full of recording devices. Just a tweet that went viral because outrage travels faster than truth on social media. Here's where it gets really interesting and really dangerous for Engelbert's job security. While the league rushes to investigate imaginary monkey noises, they're ignoring actual threats against players. I saw a post with literal bullseye targets drawn on Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, and Caitlin Clark. Gun Targets on players, where's the statement about that, where's the investigation? This selective outrage is exactly what could push Adam Silver to intervene. The NBA commissioner has built his reputation on measured responses and protecting the league's growth. He's watching Engelbert potentially torpedo the WNBA's biggest success story over Twitter drama. Let's talk numbers for a second. Yesterday's game between the Fever and whoever does it even matter at this point drew around 2 million viewers. Without Caitlin Clark and her fan base, that number drops to maybe 400,000. Maybe the new fans that Clark brought in represent roughly 70% of current viewership. 70%, and Engelbert's strategy is to investigate them for crimes they didn't commit. The situation got even more absurd when LeBron James entered the chat. He posted a simple congratulatory message for Caitlin Clark's triple-double, triple-dub CC. Great way to kick off the season. Harmless, right? Professional athlete recognizing another professional athlete's achievement. Wrong. The Angel Reese fan brigade descended on LeBron like locusts. The responses were, well, let's just say they were colorful. People calling him weak, telling him to shut up, accusing him of pandering to white people. This is LeBron James. We're talking about the same guy who spent the last decade being arguably the most politically outspoken athlete in America, the man who's alienated half the NBA fan base with his activism, and now he's getting dragged for acknowledging Caitlin Clark's basketball skills. One particularly enlightened individual asked if he missed those Diddy parties and suggested there were plenty of black athletes he could celebrate instead of this whitey girl. The irony is thick enough to cut with a knife. LeBron spent years being called too political, too woke, too focused on social justice. One tweet about a basketball performance, and suddenly he's not black enough. Make it make sense. This is the environment Cathy Engelbert has created, or at least allowed to fester, a league where phantom racism gets official investigations while actual threats get ignored, where congratulating a player's performance becomes a racial betrayal, where the commissioner prioritizes social media mobs over the fans actually supporting the league.
Be real, revenue, all right? I mean, revenue. If the WNBA owners realize that they will get more games, and as long as CC's involved and all this kind of thing, they're obviously going to make a lot more money.
Adam Silver's watching all of this, and you have to wonder what he's thinking. The NBA went through its own political controversies, but Silver navigated them without alienating entire fan bases. He understood that growth requires welcoming new fans, not investigating them based on internet rumors. The WNBA is at a crossroads. They can continue down this path of mob justice and selective outrage, or they can focus on what actually matters, growing the game. The Indiana Fever organization and their fans are being smeared without evidence. There's talk of pulling the All-Star game from Indianapolis as punishment for these fabricated incidents. Imagine that scenario. The league punishes a city and fan base for something that didn't happen based on a tweet from someone who might not you have even been at the game. How does that conversation go in the commissioner's office? Hey Adam, we're moving the All-Star game because someone on Twitter said they heard something that turned out to be a YouTuber's laugh track. That's a career-ending decision. That's the kind of move that gets you a pink slip and a cardboard box for your desk items, and Engelbert seems determined to make it. Here's what makes this even more frustrating. The WNBA had momentum, real genuine momentum. Caitlin Clark's arrival, despite it being her second year, now brought unprecedented attention. New fans, new sponsors, new media deals. The league was finally approaching sustainability after decades of losses, but instead of protecting that growth, Engelbert's letting it slip away. Every time the league validates these false accusations, they're telling the new fans they're not welcome. Every investigation into imaginary slights is a slap in the face to people who just want to watch basketball. The referee decisions that spark some of this drama, they're becoming secondary to the larger issue. Engelbert's inability to distinguish between real problems and manufactured outrage is the real scandal. Bad calls happen in every sport. Creating investigations based on Twitter fiction, that's a choice, a bad one. And let's be clear about what's really happening here. This isn't about protecting players from racism. Everyone agrees that actual racism has no place in sports or society. This is about certain segments of the fan base trying to gatekeep who's allowed to support the WNBA. They've decided Caitlin Clark's fans are the enemy, and they're using any weapon available to drive them out. The monkey noises hoax is just the latest Salvo before this, it was accusations about every hard foul, every questionable call, every moment that didn't go their preferred player's way. The pattern is clear: manufacture outrage, demand action, hope the league caves. Under Engelbert's leadership, the league keeps caving. They investigate the fake crimes while ignoring the real threats. They alienate the growth demographic. While catering to the vocal minority, they choose Twitter validation over financial viability. This is why Adam Silver might step in. The WNBA is technically under the NBA's umbrella, and Silver has a vested interest in its success. Watching Engelbert fumble away the league's best growth opportunity in decades has to be painful, seeing her prioritize social media mobs over sustainable fan-base development. That's fireable. The question becomes how much damage happens before someone intervenes. How many new fans get driven away by false accusations and league sanctioned witch hunts? How many times does Engelbert choose the mob over the money before Silver says enough? Because make no mistake, this is about money. The WNBA has survived on NBA subsidies for decades. Just when it looked like they might achieve independence, Engelbert's leadership threatens to send them back to irrelevance. Those 2 million viewers yesterday, they can find other entertainment. Those 70% new fans, well, they don't have generational loyalty keeping them around. Every press release investigating fake racism, every statement validating hoax accusations, every moment spent chasing Twitter ghosts instead of growing the game, it all adds up. Death by 1,000 self-inflicted cuts. The referees' decisions that supposedly started this latest controversy almost forgotten in the noise, because this isn't really about bad calls or missed fouls. It's about a league at war with itself, a commissioner who can't or won't lead, and a golden opportunity turning to lead. Cathy Engelbert needs to ask herself, does she want to be remembered as the commissioner who finally made the WNBA profitable, or the one who killed its best chance at relevance? Because right now she's sprinting toward the second option, and Adam Silver, he's got to be checking his calendar looking for an opening to have that difficult conversation, the one that starts with Cathy, we need to talk about the league's direction, and ends with, we think it's time for new leadership. Because if Engelbert keeps investigating phantom racism while ignoring actual threats, if she keeps choosing mob justice over fan growth, if she keeps treating the league's saviors like its enemies, well, that conversation isn't just likely, it's inevitable. The WNBA deserves better, the players deserve better, the fans, all of them deserve better. And if Engelbert can't deliver, then maybe it's time for someone who can. The clock's ticking on Cathy Engelbert's reign as WNBA commissioner. She's investigating fairy tales while Rome burns, and Adam Silver's patience won't last forever. The league's at a turning point. Embrace growth or embrace irrelevance. Right now, Engelbert's choosing wrong. Hit that like button if you think the WNBA needs new leadership, and subscribe for more unfiltered sports truth. Peace out.